What is up, YouTube? Uncle 40. We're going to be profiling some rather OCG, I want to say dumpster fires this week. But they caught my attention nonetheless because with the next set on the horizon, the OCG dabbing on into their new ban list right now, there's a lot of creativity that is brewing right now. Now, the first list we're going to be looking at here is our friend Gren, Maju, This card's attack and defense are equal to the number of your removed from play cards times 400. This guy gets big very quickly. And this deck is basically based off of the old concept of Flick Macrocosmo. Banish it all, because that is what we do here at Yu-Gi-Oh! Inc. We banish our opponent's cards and watch them squirm as they don't have a physical response to our cards. So, the OCG is pushing the 3 copies of the Metal Snake Murakumo Nonorochi. Now, we actually talked about this last time we did our little set spoiler. It's like, oh, this card's going to be a secret rare. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, banish 8 cards from the top of your deck. Well, that's a super big buff on our Grand Maju, actually. So we're getting 12, 24. Oh, we're getting a 3,000 buff off of that. Actually, I think it's 32. Math is not my friend right now, just for this. And then we get to, on the next turn, we can banish 3 cards from the extra deck face down, so we'll get another 1,200 buff off of this guy. I would just like to give a shout out to the power that this card grants to this, because, you know, Pot of Desires wasn't enough for this deck. We actually had to just abuse the Metal Snake for this. So that's pretty crazy. And then, of course, triple copies of Inspector Border, 2 copies of Fairy Tale Luna. Literally resolving one of this should be enough. I don't see a point in the game where you're going to be like, haha, watch me nay. Like, you're going to stick one of these on the search and that's it, because you want to resolve your other boss monsters. I mean, you only get 1 normal summon a turn, so there's only so much you can do with these. I think playing 3 is probably just too much of a dead draw. We have the 1 Banish of the Radiance, triple copies of Gran Maju himself. Then the 1 Feather Duster for general back row removal, triple copies of Pot of Desires, 2 Extravagance, and triple copies of Pot of Duality. I really also like how the OCG has triple copies of Scapegoat, because honestly, who wouldn't want to be able to abuse this? Meanwhile, you know, in the TCG, we're limited to 1 of this. But still, I mean, this card does allow for stun to make other aggressive moves down different skill trees, and I like that. We have the 1 copy of the deck lockdown, because not letting your opponent add cards from their deck to the hand is good. Also, playing this in Aliens is really cute. We have the triple copies of Yield Infinite Impermanence, 2 copies of Compulsory Activation Device, 1 Vanity's Emptiness, triple copies of Macrocosmo, triple copies of Crackdown, 2 copies of Solemn Strike, and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. Wrapping up the main deck. Extra deck here we have 2 copies of Link Kribo, 2 copies of Link Spider, 1 copy of Security Dragon, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Ningrisu, 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, 1 Dingrisu, of course, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Rampage, 1 Predaplan Dragostopolia, 1 Starving Venom, 1 copy of Violet Chimera, and the 1 copy of the Terrestrian. The only thing we care about this is 3 Dark Monsters to make it. So you have 2 and you have your 3rd base here to cover that. Now, side deck, we have triple Prankatops, 2 copies of Phantasme, triple Maximus Outputus, 2 copies of Twin Twister, 2 Super Poly, 1 a pre-order, and 2 copies of Red Reboot. Wrapping up this list. OCG, why? Why you make me want to play such bad cards? I really wish we get a chance to see more of this in the TCG, but nonetheless, it definitely is fucking cool nonetheless. Now, next up, we are looking at basically new combo. And when I say new combo, this is where it gets pretty fun for the OCG. Basically, this is Dragon Link on crack, starring, you know, the new Rocket Boys, because we back at it again. Just kidding, because, you know, Quick Launch is still a good card. I believe that the OCG actually started seeing Contact C go up in price because of this. So we'll see how that goes. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, 1 Carmageddon, 1 copy of Lavenir, 1 copy of the Chaos Dragon Armageddon. Hey, it's like it's a prize card or something. Good luck. 1 copy of Destrudo, 1 Dinotherium, 1 Eclipse Wyvern, 1 Ghost Ogre, oh, the one-ofs, 1 Jet Synchron, 1 copy of Magna Rocket, 1 Maxi, man, this is one-ofs. We have 1 copy of Rocket Synchron, 1 copy of Overraptor, 1 copy of Tempest Dragon Ruler of Storms, triple copies of Tenyi Dragon Adahara, by the way, this is a tuner, a little. 2 copies of Wyvern Buster, 1 copy of the White Rose Dragon, 1 Guard Dragon Crusadia, 1 Alexandrite, and 1 Flamvel Guard. Spells, we have triple copies of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Negate Whatever my opponent's trying to do the card, 1 copy of Dragon Ravine, 1 copy of Foolish Barrow, 2 copies of Fossil Dig, 1 Feather Duster, triple copies of Quick Launchu, triple copies of Unexpected Die, oh, 4 lower, this, plus any other monster, starts my combo. And then 2 copies of the World Legacy Guard Dragon. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Owl Mirage, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Pisty, 1 LP, 1 copy of Bring the Pain Dragon, 1 Romulus, 1 Needle Fiber, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Borreload, 1 copy of the Apulsula Bow of the Goddess, 1 Hope Harbinger, 1 Ib, 1 copy of the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 2 copies of Effect Villa, triple copies of Phantasme, 2 copies of Max C, 1 copy of the Retaliating Sea. During your player's turn, your opponent activates a spell card that includes an effect special summons a monster. You special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way while this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Ooh, then of course it lets you recruit for Max C after it dies. But you know, we don't get to use that effect. Then we have 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, 2 copies of Twin Twister, and triple copies of Red Reboot, wrapping up this list. Spicy OCG. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Now, next up, last but not least here, with the Magical Musket link coming out in the TCG soon, I think a lot of players are curious to see where we should be heading with this deck. Where is the optimal build? Well, the OCG has given us a few little pieces of advice in the form of this deck to kind of steer you in the right direction for where you might be looking at going for your Magical Musket deck, because this card is insane for this deck, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing some sort of success with this. I mean, it's a slow-S stun deck, but, you know, slow-esque is still pretty good. So, we have the triple copies of Starfire, of course, triple copies of Kid Brave, triple copies of Magical Musketeer Doc, triple copies of Magical Musket Caspar, 2 copies of Ash Blossom, and 2 copies of Max C. Spells, 2 copies of Desire for draw power, triple copies of Ties of the Brethren, pay 2,000, special summon 1, start wreaking havoc on your opponent for essentially free. Yeah, good value. Triple copies of Upstart Goblin, 2 copies of Super Polymerization, and of course, triple copies of Magical Musket Cross Domination, because blinking a monster and having its effects negated, really good. Traps, we have 2 copies of Imperm, 2 copies of Desperado, 2 copies of the Needle. I'm not a big fan of the Needle, but I understand that getting the graveyard removal is pretty important in some matchups. The 1 copy of the Crooked Crown, blinking a column's pretty good. Triple copies of Last Stand also wrapping up this list. I mean, you only get so much good shit that you can work with, and you kind of have to play the bad. Like, there's not much you can do about that. And then we have the triple copies of Magical Musketeer Max, 1 copy of Security Dragon, 1 copy of the Hip Hoshigan. Oh yeah, everybody's light. We have the 1 copy of the Nightmare Phoenix, 1 copy of the Master King Archfiend, 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 Shizbania, 1 Ningrisu, 1 Avermax, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Duplexer, 1 Dragostopoli, and the 1 copy of the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Side deck, 1 Prankatops, triple Phantasme, 1 copy of Ghostbell, 1 Maxi, 1 Feather Duster, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 copy of Fiendish Deal, 1 triple Red Reboot, and 2 copies of Solemn Scolding, wrapping up this list. So, OCG inspiring us to try new things. Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these lists. And guys, catch you on the flip side. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanco40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.